This model apartment unit in New York City is listed for just under $5.5 million. It has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and is located in a prime location in Chelsea. Today, Cheryl Eisen and her team are going to stage it and turn the blank canvas into something completely new.
This is exactly what we're looking for.
Cheryl is the go-to luxury apartment stager in New York. For this project, she's hoping to create a space with a Scandinavian look and feel.
It's a very minimalist, light, airy design style. It uses raw natural materials, natural wood tones, monochromatic colors. Think IKEA, but way upscale.
Once she's done, she's hoping the space will convince potential buyers to, well, buy. This apartment is one of 7 3-bedroom units and 1 duplex penthouse in this new boutique development that was put on the market at the end of October. But before a unit like this is ready to be put on the market, the developers need an actual place they can show a buyer. That's where a model unit comes in.
So because this giant space hosts the dining room, living room, and the kitchen, we have to delineate the 3 spaces very clearly. So to achieve this, we do 3 things. One is we use a large area rug to create the space that is the living room. So then we have the dining table, which has its own space and its chairs. And then thirdly, to delineate the kitchen area, we have the stools. And now we've got 3 different functions in one large room that create 3 separate spaces.
Once we have the furniture in, it actually gives the buyers a very good sense of how the space feels with furniture, how the space flows with furniture.
That's Michael Kirchman. He's the architect and developer for this building, and is the one who has enlisted the help of Cheryl Eisen and the staging team at Interior Marketing Group to get a project like this done in a timely manner. Because time is money in this industry, there are a few key players. Alexandra Newman, the art department manager, Guida Quesada, the textiles and fabrication manager, and Marissa Alexion, the project manager who will be overlooking the design and progress on location.
We want to create a Scandinavian sort of clean-lined style. And we're gonna search the warehouse today for pieces that speak to that style. And somewhere in this section, these are a little too colorful, but very cool, sort of also Scandinavian. Definitely Scandinavian. This is the one I've been thinking about. Okay, so we've got the boucle fabric, which we put on, and this chair is just so simple and clean and classically Scandinavian. I think Michael's really gonna love this one. So now, dining tables. Follow me. What we're looking for is seating for 8. This is a 3-bedroom apartment. You'd think how many guests, how many kids, and you sort of get 8, but also 8 actually is the max you can fit in this space. So we're limited there. This is a 79-inch table. So now I need a base for this. So I saw once on the cover of a magazine when they paired a wood top table with the Saarinen base, which is usually a round marble tabletop. I think they're gonna look really neat together and just sort of make it a little more authentic, less matchy-matchy, which is always nice, right? It adds a little touch of who knew? Now we're going to art, and I'm really excited to pick some pieces. Come on. All right, Alex, show me what we're doing for this space.
All right, so come on over here. Our artists Pat and Corolla are working on what we call a diptych, which is gonna be a double paneled piece. It's gonna be 5 feet high by 10 feet long, which is just gonna accentuate the massive wall that it's gonna be living on.
Marissa, I just wanted to find out what has been going on while we've been gone. Show me what the progress looks like.
Yeah, absolutely, let's go. So first we are here in kind of our main living space, and we have this beautiful dining area. We wanted to bring in this like gorgeous live edge table with these really cool chairs that we like custom upholstered. So next we're here in kind of like the main living room space, and it was a bit challenging because it's kind of tight.
Right, so the challenge is like this is such a small living room and it's right next to the dining room, which is right next to the kitchen. So to define the spaces individually, you use this big rug.
We created this really cool custom media wall, and it's making this space feel very useful and just like very welcoming to come sit here.
The furniture is moved in and reevaluated by Michael and the team in the actual space. Sometimes things don't look as planned, and the team works quickly to make the changes.
All right, now tell me the bad news, because my idea about the Saarinen bases, Michael didn't love. It was worth a try.
I mean, you know, sometimes we try something and sometimes it's great and successful.
What are you gonna use instead?
We're gonna do a nice burnished brass classic leg, which I think will just show off the table just as nicely.
Next, bedding. We want to stay in beiges and whites and black as the only sort of color in there. And I'm going to choose a couple of pillows that I think are going to look nice on bedding and as accessorizing. So the reason I like to choose these very neutral, calming tones and colors is because we don't want to compete with what's really selling the homes, which is the architecture and the finishes and the windows and the views. We want to make sure that we honor that and speak to it gently, but we don't want to compete with it. That's the star of the show. Now we're going to head over to Fabrication and check out some fabrics we're going to use in the space. Weira, what are we doing today for Michael?
Here we've chosen to make curtains for these two rooms out of these two fabrics. This one will be light and airy, and then this one will be nice and crisp, but they'll both hang really nice and give us the cheap look that we want.
It's nice to have like a curtain like this because the light comes through, but you're not necessarily looking at what's outside the window if it's not the greatest view in the world.
Here we are at the final walkthrough. I just want to get some of your feedback and see what you think about what we've done.
But I think the original brief was to come up with a sort of a Scandinavian modern type of look, lots of soft tones. I think what you've done is great. We have all the ochre colors, the lights, sofas. So I think all in all it's come together quite nicely.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're happy with it. We just walked through the space with Michael, and now we're going to have Cheryl come by to add her finishing touches.
I want to start by putting this warm throw on the sofa. It adds some texture and warmth and coziness. We added this great light fixture which pulls in the black color, which is very dramatic. So moving into the dining room from the living room, we've got this gigantic wall. So again, what we did was we chose this art, which is filling the wall. The scale is super important. And we're also bringing you into the dining room by using these horizontal lines. Again, even the art speaks to the Scandinavian style by the color palette, which is very neutral and black. The dining room here, we changed the table base and these legs look fantastic. I think it was a good call. And I think this really, again, speaks to the minimalist Nordic Scandinavian style. So now we're gonna come into the kitchen. And when you're staging a kitchen, here's the important thing to think about. You don't want to compete with this beautiful marble or the finishes. You just want to be very subtle in the way you stage it. Use just simple little accents here, nothing that's going to distract the eye from the real selling points. Okay, so here we are in the master. We're just doing some finishing touches. I'm actually adding extra pillows in this master bed just because when you layer a few layers, it actually feels way more plush, way more inviting. All right, so now I'm going to go over here to the drapes, which are now installed. They look great. They're adding light. The trick to draperies is to hang them as high as you possibly can and then have them just kiss the floor. It makes your eye go up and it makes the ceilings look taller. So now here we are in the guest room, which is really sophisticated and beautiful. This really speaks to the Nordic style, not only because of the warm, deep tone here, which really adds drama, but also because of the natural woods. sort of the neutral fabrics, the natural wood element here. But really my favorite part of this whole room is the cool rug. It's a really thick, recycled woven rug. Got like depth and texture. Really is a wow statement in a model apartment that you wouldn't see in other places. So when staging in a new development also, it's important to consider dual functionality, or as much functionality as you can in a small room. So even in a bedroom, we make space for a desk and chair, so you can imagine anything else than just sitting in a bed in a room. So when you're designing for a new development, it's important to keep in mind not to have the design be too personalized and too taste specific. This could possibly alienate a large percentage of your buyer demographic. And that's why, especially for this branded unit, we stick to the minimalist, neutralized Scandinavian style. So now I'm going into the youth/guest room, and I'm taking a look. This looks so great. One of the best things about this room, I think now, is the dual paint color. It just adds a little wow factor, and it's a little unexpected, and it differentiates this room from the other rooms.
So now that the model unit is complete, hopefully it will strike a chord with the right buyer.